What's up, everybody?
Hey.
We are back.
Finally.
Day after Labor Day.
Yep. So we are back with episode number 200.
81.
81, yep.
And then we got our whole crew here, including a guest. We've got Greg the Egg, otherwise known as Blackmore Rules on YouTube.
Yep.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. I'm having fun playing with all these new buttons that I found. So, we got all kinds of fun stuff going on here.
I was watching a little CFL yesterday there, Greg. I watched a couple of the. I didn't realize Labor Day was such a big deal because of the rivalries. But I used to be an Edmonton Elks fan. I guess I can't say Eskimos. But I love Winnipeg, so.
Did you see the Bomber game?
You're a BC Lion, right?
I'm Lions all the way, but the Bomber game was phenomenal. The ending of it was absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Colaris, good grief.
Yeah.
Wrong color jersey, buddy.
Broadcast that all the time down here at CFL.
Yeah. Well, I because of a gracious friend, I now have YouTube TV and the NFL package, and so I get to see CFL games Thursday night and Saturday, and so it's fun.
Right
anyway,
on.
we
got some guests with us. Evan Williams is checking in. Damian Hair Metal.
Tony Clem's here. Hey, thanks, Tony.
Yep. Springfield. Tony Clem.
It's my anniversary on Sunday. Believe it or not.
Our good friend George G. up there in New Jersey. Ron Haggerty. What's up, Ron? Yo. Got AZ Mick. Metal Kev. Thanks, everybody, for checking in. Appreciate it. Right on. So let's start getting into it. So Steve, got any? I know we're going to be doing a what's spinning. So, but you got anything you want to share outside of that? Any?
So I went shopping. I was in Florida this weekend and picked up a record that you might dig. Been looking for this for like at least 10 years. A nice guy. I see it from time to time, but they're always trash. But found a really nice copy of the self-titled album from the Amboy Dukes.
Oh wow!
It's got something.
Oh, nice.
Is that the first? That's the first one?
Yeah, from '67.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, there's actually another cover of that one. The Japanese pressing on that thing is so freaking rare, but it's got a picture of a 16-year-old Ted Nugent on the front of it.
Oh wow!
I held it in my hand once. I was when I met Ted Nugent, and my buddy was with me. He had a copy of it. He got him to sign it, and Ted sat there for like 20 minutes just telling us stories as he was holding it and cherishing the 16-year-old memories. So. Right on. Got Chaos Massacre Productions here.
Yes. Melbourne representing.
So cool. What about you, Kev? You got any shout outs before we get into the show?
No, I'm gonna be going to Arizona here in probably February.
Right on.
Going down visit my sister and her husband. They're down there usually in the wintertime, so it'd be nice. I've never been there, so.
Where are you going?
I think Prescott.
Right on.
In that area.
Yeah, I was thinking about going down to Arizona in a couple weeks because Joe Perry Project's playing there, but between plane tickets and tickets to the show and places to stay, it's just going to cost an arm and a leg, so I can't go. But Joe Perry and Brad Whitford's playing in the band as well.
I was going to say, isn't Whitford playing with him now?
Yeah, Whitford's playing with him, and some of the guys from Stone Temple Pilots, and it's like an all-star band.
Isn't there a place called the Launch Pad there? Or is that Albuquerque?
That's Albuquerque.
Oh, didn't it burn down?
The Launch Pad didn't burn down. The Golden West burned down, but it's connected to him. Was next door, so the Launch Pad was closed down for a long time due to the smoke damage.
I gotcha. So what? I'm trying to think of the name of the club in Phoenix. I can't remember.
It was funny because the Golden West, we played Ultimatum played there on a Saturday night, had a great crowd, it was a great show, and then that next Sunday night it burned down, so we were like the last band to play there.
The most famous club in Phoenix was the Mason Jar, but it's gone.
Mason Jar, which is closed now. Yeah.
The owner got shot execution style in the parking lot.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
I think I read about that.
Yeah,
up here.
The Nile Theater, I think it's still around, but it's had a couple locations. I think that's pretty much it. That's been around for a long time.
John, you got any shout-outs before we get into your POW?
No. Does it, well, beside the fact that, does Greg have any shout-outs? And then
yeah,
Greg, got anything? Any shout-outs before we get into the show?
Yeah, one for Pebbles, your dog. There you go. There you go. Pebbles is on. Your dog's on the show now. There you go.
Right on. All right.
All right.
That's always
All right.
so impressive. That's
I
a
love
big
that.
leap.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I know.
Let's just
And
change it. Change the whole show. Just have it.
And the rock. Ready for this one? And the rock pick is
Led Zeppelin,
Oh, yeah.
Physical Graffiti. Okay, so I've been listening to Hammer of the Gods on audiobook, and so I've had to compartmentalize my feelings for the players in this band, because I love Led Zeppelin, but man, they were despicable, immoral, debauchery-ridden, drug-addled individuals. All that being said, this album is so weirdly complicated and simple at the same time. And in my time of dying, I'm still trying to figure out that drum part, that little break in there. But if you don't have Physical Graffiti in your collection, please just do yourself a favor and run out and buy it. So Physical Graffiti by Zeppelin. I know that they're not heavy metal. That's what they claimed all along. But this thing has got some really heavy elements to it, and certainly could be considered as heavy metal as anything else in that era or in that time frame.
I think Greg's got a name for Led Zeppelin.
But Harmless Rebel, he said it perfectly the other day.
I think he calls them the poor man's Deep Purple.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I was going to say that. I was going to say that they were, it rivals anything. It rivals anything that Deep Purple may have put out, but it probably is too long. I don't think it needed to be 2 albums, but the songs are super, super long. I could easily cut out half the songs and make it 1 album. But in my time of dying, Steve, maybe you figured out that drum break where he goes da 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 da.
I have to listen to it again.
Yeah, can't do it. Anyway, I think I've done this one before, but man, I've been on a Gamma Side kick. I know Scott has No Life Till Metal has re-released this thing, and the remastered version is far superior to the Wild Rags version. No offense to Wild Rags, but Gamma Side, Victims of Science, if this isn't in your collection yet, from my last recommendation, you need to run for the hills and grab a copy somewhere, because the original pressings, and mine's of course autographed because they live here in my backyard practically, but these easily go for $70 to $100. So save yourself the money, buy it from Scott, and plus it sounds phenomenal, and it's great packaging. The CD sounds great too, but Gamma Side, Victims of Science is my metal pick. And
to be honest, I think there's only like 2 vinyl copies left over there.
Well, see, 2 of our listeners, if they don't have it, need to run out and they need to order it right now. And when the show's over, you need to be sold completely out. So Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti, and Gamma Side, Victims of Science. And Gamma Side just announced a 2-week tour. They're going to play in some of the cities, including yours, Steve-O. They're going to be in Atlanta.
Oh, really?
It would be well worth checking out.
I'll definitely go see that. When's that?
And our buddies from Hans Condor have been gracious in inviting them to come up and do it. They had an off day, and it looks like they're playing Nashville after they play Atlanta. So it'll be a wild ride for those dudes. But yeah, please check them out. They're in rare form. In fact, it's like they never lost a step. And after seeing them at Hell's Heroes, and then several times here locally, man, Gamma Side is. You guys can talk about new thrash all you want. That's 88 to 92 thrash metal at its Texas finest. So that's all I have to say.
Yep, getting lots of people commenting on Gamicide, and I agree. I love Gamicide. But yeah, if anybody wants that vinyl, you got to get it quick because they're almost gone. We had like 20 copies left, and then the band started playing shows, and they came and asked them they could get some more copies from us. So I think most of the copies went to the band and are gone now. So I think he's only got like 2 copies left.
Yeah, get on their Facebook page, get on their Instagram. They're going out in October, and dude, you do not want to miss them. They are.
Any dates listed yet? But...
Yeah.
Yep.
Hang
Brother
on.
Lee checking in from Noise Spectrum from Canada.
Yeah. Don't let me have dead space, but I can tell you approximately when they're trying to book there, Steve-O.
Okay. Or just message me when you find out.
Right on. Well, while you're looking it up, let's start getting into the show. So today's show is a simple one. It's what we've been listening to, basically. So invited our guest on, Greg. So Greg,
October
why don't you
12th.
October 12th. Greg, why don't you start us off and show us what you're listening to? Show us one.
Okay. This is for Noise Spectrum from Ontario. I don't know how close to Toronto it is, but I know he loves the Toronto Argonauts football team. And here's this album that came out in the 60s. It's all they're hilarious. They're fight songs, but they're done by an orchestra like Del Richards. You can see what it's like, but it's just got trumpets and horns, come on and roar, you lions, or, fight. So it's a really rare, expensive album, but it's, he might know the Argos one, probably if he grew up with the CFL, but I just thought I'd throw that in there in case Noise Spectrum was there. But this isn't the one I've been listening to, but it's a sister one. Scott, you've got this, it was either before this album or after it. They had put out a recent, was it Record Store Day, but a Pat Travers Live, but it was just around a few months before or after this. Pretty well the same track listing, except a couple extra songs were on that album that you've got. But I would love to know the top 10 single LP albums of all time. Yeah, that's the one. But that's what I've been listening to on YouTube while I'm riding my bike out, enjoying the sun before the snow flies. But this album, like top 10 single LPs, you could throw your Fog Hat Live and, Unleashed in the East and all that. But I mean, this is in my top 10 easily for sure. But it makes no difference. The last song on the album, one of the greatest songs in rock history for me, especially Canadian. I'd rate that as that and Working Man, maybe the 2 best Canadian songs of all time. But anyway, that's my rant or whatever.
A lot of people don't realize that Pat Travers is from Canada because he was fairly popular here in the States Canadian for a long time. Yeah, he was playing the stadiums for a while. He was huge here in the United States.
Didn't Tommy Aldridge play for him for a while?
Yeah, that's Tommy Aldridge right on here.
Tommy Aldridge, and I can't remember. Right there. Yeah.
Yep.
Morris Cowling and Pat Thrall. Pat Thrall did some stuff for IDs later. So yeah.
Smoking whiskey and drinking cocaine. Can't argue with that. Man.
So let's go. We'll go in. What do you call it? Counterclockwise. So we'll let you go next, John. And then we'll go up to Kevin. Then Steve.
Okay. Well, geez, I don't know how much time we have or whatever, but these all sort of. I'm just going to race through these because they all sort of fit together. You probably can't see. The image is very haunting. This is a band called Dark Circles.
Yeah, Nico.
I saw a split that they were on with Abstractor, which is a really killer funeral doom band from Oakland, and it led me down the rabbit hole. So Abyssal is kind of related to them. It's dark doom with ambient twists to it. Pyramids with Wraiths. This is a really unique album. It's once again, it's like Death Doom, but it's more ambient than that. And then, of course, if you have Pyramids, then you need to get the split with Mammofier. So all these are dark, heavy, and have a lot of ambient elements. And I've just sort of been under that. And then the last but not least. This is The Moon Lay Hidden Beneath a Cloud. That's the name of the band. And this has one track. This is from the Wolfsmond Festival in 1997. But if you're a fan of, Dark Circle or Abstractor or Mortiferum, but the more ambient side of Mortiferum, you'll dig all the above, all of which I just listed.
Right on. You're up, Kev. What you got?
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna.
What you been listening to
right away? I'm gonna start off with some Bay Area thrash. These are all Rodent CDs. So if you follow me on Facebook, you know it. Or Metal Uprising. This is Rodent. So this is Law's Rocket, their last studio album, and Left for Dead. And actually, surprisingly, it's a really good album. It's on the Massacre label. I believe this came out 2008. Bay Area thrash. Be nice to see some newer stuff. But anyway, and then I've been listening to, I finally picked up some Warhead.
Right on.
Speedway, man. I've seen this out there, and but I have never really invested into the. I believe they're from Belgium, I think, Denmark, somewhere in there. But man, this thing really is a killer thrash album. I believe it's from 2012 actually. It was released, probably re-released, and I believe it was 84 originally. This came out, and then the last one is Condition Critical.
Killer band.
This came out about a little over 9 years ago. Operational Hazard, and New Jersey thrashers. They're actually releasing their new album on Friday called Degradation Chamber. So I've heard it's gonna be a killer album, full on thrash. I mean, if you like it, early 80s thrash, mid 80s thrash, you'll definitely like Condition Critical. Havoc, right in that vein.
Cool. They are a killer band. I have a couple other things.
Yeah.
Somebody's from Belgium. Is it Warhammer who's from Belgium?
Yeah.
Or Warhead?
Warhead.
I don't. Yeah, I'm having a hard time keeping up with the comments and listening to what y'all are saying at the same time. Steve, what you got? Anything good?
Yes, I pulled out this old comp from 1990 at Death's Door. I don't know if you guys remember this one. It's a really good one, though. A collection of brutal death metal from 1990, which is a little different than what we consider brutal death metal now, but some great tracks on here. I mean, you got Mass Hypnosis from Sepultura, Out of the Body from Pestilence. You got Deicide, Morgoth, Sadist, Exorder. Then on the B side, you got Death, Obituary, and then Malevolent Creation. Then it gets kind of funny for a couple tracks. And you got Believer, definitely not brutal death metal. Cerebral Fix, which is more of a crossover thrash band, yeah. And then it ends with Atrocity, which is again just killer death metal. But the Believer and the Cerebral Fix is kind of funny in there.
What track from Atrocity? Because the like Hallucinations, that album is straight up thrash, and then they went almost industrial, and then they went to more of a death.
Yeah, I call it more. I think it's more tech death. I think that was really one of the first tech death albums. That came out right around the same time Atheist did. But I mean, a lot of that stuff that we consider thrash now. I mean, Sepultura, Beneath the Remains, everybody considered that death metal when it came out, and we consider that thrash now. Well, I remember when it came out, every top 10 list had that listed as one of the top 10 death metal albums of all time, you know?
Because I didn't think I'd ever heard anything that fast and that guttural.
But Atrocity, if you guys haven't heard that first record from Atrocity, that's a 10-star. That's one of the darkest records you'll ever listen to. It's about a guy just going deeper and deeper into addiction. I mean, it's a dark. It's so good, though. But it was just funny that then you get to Believer and Cerebral. And a lot of the comps were like that back then. You know, New Wave of British Heavy Metal comp, and you got like 2 or 3 songs that are in no way related to the New Wave of British Heavy Metal, you know? So I love stuff like this stuff. So that's what I was spinning.
Yeah, we're getting some people agreeing with you that the old Sepultura was considered death metal back in the day.
The old Sepultura. Hang on, I got it right here. I mean, this is pretty dark and brutal and recorded in the basement. You know, so yeah.
Is that a repressing or is that an original pressing?
No, that's the original Cogamella with overdose. Side. This is the black label. So this is the second pressing from. Was it 87 when this came out? I can't remember what year it was.
Something like that.
Right on. All right, well, I'm going to start off with one that I played like 10 times in the last 2 weeks, but this is the new Hellbender, Scumlords, crossover thrash. I don't know. I just really like it. Of course, I'm just a huge thrash fan to begin with, but I'm really digging on the crossover thrash stuff for some reason right now. And yeah, this is really good. Just came out. It's actually on my label, so if anybody's interested, rocksrecords.com, thelifetilmetalrecords.com, and if you want it. But I wasn't showing it because I want you to buy it. I'm showing it because it really is what I've been listening to the last few days, mostly
But
in
he
my
does
car.
want you to buy it.
I do, and it's not because people always think, oh, it's not about the money. I just want these bands and music to get out there. There's because I don't get paid a freaking dime from any of this stuff. So yeah, it's if one copy sells or 3,000 copies sell, I don't get paid any more or less. So I just get paid to do the artwork, and that's it. All right, you're back up again.
And you do darn good artwork. You do excellent artwork, and I'm not just saying it. I'm glad you're getting business from bigger bands on and on. Here you go. But anyway, that's enough love to stop. Yeah. But anyway, speaking of love, love this album.
The Donnas.
The Donnas.
Yeah, that's our early stuff. That's really good.
Yeah, Get Skin Tight. And it's heavy. Their first album was more of a punky because they were trying to be kind of like a Ramones. They even had the Donna R and Donna C, whatever, like kind of the same name. But this thing's biting guitar tone on it. It's fantastic. And the drummer, she's just got her blonde hair flying like crazy. And I've seen them live in Vancouver, 99 or whatever. If you like, you just kind of, I wouldn't say power pop because that makes it too mellow, but it's just exciting rock. And the girl vocals are perfect. And
yeah, that early stuff from them is really good.
Yeah, Turn 21's really good. And then even their later stuff. Only the last one I didn't like as much. Get a Bitchin' or whatever it's called, I think. But unless that was Girls' School, maybe I'm getting mixed up with Girls' School. But anyway, just in a similar vein, just because we're the Halo Friendlies, you may not have heard of them, but that's another all-girl band, but it's Christian. Same with the Donnas. If you like the Donnas, you should like this band. And they only have a couple albums out as well, but it's just that kind of really good summertime, kick ASS rock.
Yeah. You can say
I almost said it.
Here. You can say it. You can say that word.
Okay, you stupid ass.
All right. So who's next?
So Metal Kev
Marcus.
mentioned Mass Grave, and being from Canada, I'm not from Canada, but I'll tell you what, those Canadians, in fact, they're from BC. I think they're from Vancouver because I remember seeing them at a taco stand in East Dallas. They were driving down to South by Southwest, and they thought, well, we'll just pick up a show on the way down there because Austin's about 4 hours away from here. And they drove 27 hours straight from Vancouver, set up and played a barn burner of a taco burner of a show at a taco stand at a taco restaurant in East Dallas. And super, super nice guys, but just brutal music. I really love Mass Grave. All right. One of the great things about working in and around Born Late Records is the fact that Henry gets the wildest stuff you can ever imagine in. And so this thing came in the other day. It is the Ted Templeman sessions of Van Halen. And this thing sounds freaking amazing. Let's see. Location, Sound Studio, Hollywood, California. Ted Templeman, Don and Peggy, blah, blah, blah. They have the track listing is DOA, Bring on the Girls, Put Out the Lights, House of Pain, In a Simple Rhyme. Kind of like the Gene Simmons demos. You hear bits and pieces of other future songs in here. Side 2 is Get the Show on the Road, which is like a take of Romeo's Delight. No Peace of Mind, Babe, Don't Leave Me Alone. You Really Got Me, Happy Trails. Big Trouble, Mean Streets, and She's the Woman. But man, contact Born Late Records in Fort Worth, Texas, and get the Van Halen, the Ted sessions. I don't know how many copies that he's got left, but I took this instead of pay. I hope the Queen's not watching. But he threw this at me and said, here, knock $20 off what I owe you. And I said, oh, I'll gladly do that. But anyway, Van Halen, the Ted sessions, and I've spun this thing numerous times, and it just only because I love the early years of Van Halen, and I know that the Van Hagar years and the Gary Sharon years, yeah, they're legitimate too because they sold a lot more records. But Man, this is when Roth could actually hold it. You know, he can't hold a note in a peach basket at this point, but he could actually sing, and these things sound great. And once again, you can hear future bits and pieces of other songs. So if you can grab this, grab it while you can, because I don't know how long it'll be around.
Yeah, some of those are hard to get all the time.
Born Light Records, Fort Worth, Texas. They have they have boxes of them. So grab it like a rabbit.
If I was down there, I'd probably grab it. Anyway, this band, Crystal Viper, The Last Quest, or The Live Quest. I just actually found out that this is going to be their last album they came out with in their history, which spans 2006 to 2025. Why they ended on 19 years instead of 20, I don't know. But it's Marta Gabriel, of course, Bart, her husband, kind of, they formed, I believe it's Listenable Records, but it's just straightforward heavy metal. Of course, with Marta on vocals. I think they have 6-7 full lengths, bunch of EPs, and I do have all of their stuff. So I figured that you got to have the live one. I mean, to finish out their going away. So if you see this, is actually a decent price over on Amazon. I think I paid $19, but that was right around Labor Day. So never know. It still might be around that price.
Right on. Good price. Steve. Are you muted?
I'm muted. Sorry.
Wait.
Oh my gosh.
I think I mentioned this in passing before, but I've been listening to this a lot. So this is, man, avant-garde, progressive jazz infused black and death metal. So this is Alpha Bill from Imperial Triumphant. Man, this thing's a journey. This gives me the same feeling as Meshuggah when they first came out. I had never heard anything like that. Or Voivod, when I first got into them, I had never heard anything like that. That's kind of how this band is. This is like their third or fourth album. This is probably the most this is the one that got them kind of in the spotlight. The albums before this are a little harder to get into, a little more out there. But man, this is a fantastic album. I've just been playing this quite a bit. It goes all over the place. You're not really sure what you're listening to for part of it in a good way. But if you guys are into avant-garde death metal or just the avant-garde side of metal, this one's definitely for you.
So is it like Dream Unending or Tomb Mold or wherever they're?
No. This is
where they're incorporating jazz fusion and saxophone and.
No, this is like listening to. Some of the songs are almost like a black metal version of free jazz. I mean, it's check it out. Listen to it online.
That's Imperial Triumphant.
Yeah, Imperial Triumphant, and this album is Alphaville.
Right on. This is an oldie.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Silver Mountain, Shaking Brains. Band from what were they? Swedish, I believe.
I wonder where they got their name idea from.
Yeah.
And they're huge. They're very obviously huge Blackmore fans because this is very Rainbow, Deep Purple inspired heavy metal from the early '80s. On what's that?
Or Dio fans.
Or Dio, but yeah, it's a good album. I like it a lot. I don't know how it's actually one I haven't had. I used to have it back in the '80s on cassette, and I just never got it back. And I saw a bunch of people showing it on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I got to find a copy. So I found a copy for a decent price. It's in perfect shape. So I snagged it up. So I've been listening to that over the last couple of days. So yeah, really good stuff. I got to know what year this came out.
Is it Dio era sounding or Joe Lynn Turner era sounding?
Oh, no. It's definitely it's
Dio era?
Definitely the Deep Purple, early Rainbow inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a little more 80s metal than that. So it's it's not, it's definitely not a you guys have all heard this, right? The rest of
Yeah.
you.
I
It's
have.
definitely not like a Rainbow or Deep Purple clone. You could just hear that inspiration in the sound. That's all.
Mm.
And in the
Especially
name.
some of this, and in the rain, and in some of the songwriting, obviously. So anyhow, you're up again.
Okay. Oh, we'll just go with. I got to see them live when this tour happened. I hope that shows up on the screen.
Status
But
Quo.
anyway,
That's fine. We can see it.
That was cool. You
Whoa.
bet.
Oh, there's the first. That's the best. Yeah, Harmless Rebel showing one of the most boogie albums you'll ever hear in your life. For power, just boogie. But yeah, this is the Frantic Four all back together again, and saw them in Finland or something. It was on a festival outdoors, nice sunny day. The only band I cared about was them. I didn't know any of the other bands, but just to get to see these guys live was one of those bucket list things. I mean, and they were really, really good, really fun. So yeah, and it's, of course, they're playing all the old stuff. So yeah, no, I'd recommend this album to anybody. Like live, Status Quo. The studio is not. I always like live, like Kiss Alive. I want to hear Kiss Alive. And
Status Quo was crazy because they were one of the biggest bands in Europe, and they just never really broke through here in the U.S., which is sad. I mean, they're one of the best of the '70s.
And they're simple. They're simple. They're radio friendly. I think there's nothing. But whatever. Yeah, this one was like Slade didn't really kick big in here too, but Slade over there.
Yeah,
Slade.
I was kind of put Status Quo in the same like sound as Foghat. I mean, that kind of boogie rock.
Foghat
stuff.
can boogie. Yeah.
You could also make a claim about Wishbone Ash too. I mean, they really never got a lot of respect over here as well. Kind of like Status Quo.
That's funny. I've heard about Wishbone Ash for decades, and they're supposed to be like Thin Lizzy, the first two twin guitar attack. And the first time I ever saw them was on YouTube yesterday. I thought, why haven't I watched these guys? Got to hear all about them. It was like just a simple boogie song with flying
they were
beat.
a weird band though, because they would put out a really good heavy record, and then they'd put out kind of a weak record that I didn't.
Oh.
Then the next one would be kind of heavy and really good again, and then they would go back and forth with their sound. They were kind of
hit or miss. Yeah, they were.
That was kind of the way Nazareth was too. Nazareth would do that too. They put out a really heavy album, then they put out a lighter album, then a heavier album, then a lighter album. So
yeah.
But anyhow, where are we? Oh, you're up. Carcass.
Yeah, I often wonder. You hear about the puppet masters of the music business kind of directing traffic, and why Wishbone Ash or Status Quo? Because I agree with you, Greg, on Status Quo. They were phenomenal, yet they just didn't move the needle. And I saw in that same vein, I saw Golden Earring too, and they didn't, except for the Radar Love song. None of their albums got much airplay, and yet they were all really, really good. But
but they made enough money off of that one song that it paid for their whole career.
That is true. That is true. They wore that thing out. They were almost like a one-hit wonder, yet they had a huge catalog of records.
A dozen great records.
Yeah, really good stuff. Especially I think the '70s stuff is where they really shined.
Okay, so this is a reach, but once again, when you work on the side for Born Late Records, you see all sorts of crazy stuff. I don't know how many of you know the story behind Metallica's "And Justice for All." Where they just deleted the bass track on the American version. I actually heard the Japanese version, and I thought, well, this sounds great. It has a bass in there, but then you went back and listened to my American pressing, and it didn't have bass in it. But so I know this is we can't say the word bootleg.
Special pressing.
It's a special pressing, and this is called "And Justice for Jason," and this actually has the bass track in it, and then it's got a couple of bonus tracks. It's got like Bread Fan and the Prince that are kind of in the process, and then it's got an interview on it. But I don't know. I thought this was worth the money, because I like the songs on that record, but I don't like the production. I don't like the clicky kick drums. I don't like the fact that the bass is missing, and the bass actually holds this thing together. But anyway, So I've been spinning this thing, kind of dissecting it. I had seen a deal where these two brothers had re-recorded the album as it should have properly been, and they did the same thing with Saint Anger, and the songs are pretty good, but with just better production. But the same holds for this. You've got to have the bass in there, and the thing is that Jason came in there a house of fire. He was a driving force, and especially after the tragedy of losing Cliff, and then they just cut him out of the mix. It's just silly, petty. It's one of my grievances against Metallica because I just don't buy their stuff anymore.
I prefer that Putz head cover too. That's great.
Yeah, and I noticed it was backwards because his name is down here at the corner, and it's backwards. So, but anyway, if you can find a copy, once again, I'm touting Born Late. One of our sponsors, County Line Records, I think, has some copies of this.
I think Rocketdrome has them too. I have a copy of that.
But I don't know. I thought it was worth the money, but that would be the only way I would buy a Metallica record these days. I wouldn't buy any of the new stuff. It's just pathetic to me. But whatever, that's my opinion. And what can I say? Yeah, I'll meet you in the parking lot.
Right on. What you got, Kev?
All right, this label here is, I either like a lot of their bands, or to me they're kind of hit and miss, but they're on the Riding Easy label. And have you guys ever heard of this band, Hog?
I seen you post that, but I never heard them before.
This is Black Hole. They're out of Portland, Oregon. They're psychedelic heavy, basically. They've been around since about 2022. Great guitar work. I really don't know who to compare them to, but I was curious. I picked this up, and this is really a phenomenal album. I mean, they have an EP as well that came out a couple of years prior, 2022. So, but definitely check this out. This is a phenomenal album if you like Hog. 3-piece, actually.
Power Trio.
Yep. Great stuff.
Got some, we'll see what we got going on in the comments here. I keep losing track here. See, John said thanks. I don't know if you saw it, but John said thanks for the Van Halen. He picked it up.
Oh, cool. He won't be disappointed. If you're a Van Halen fan of the early years, you'll love that. I mean, you and once again, you'll hear album, 5 different snippets of different songs that are going to appear on 4 or 5 different albums. So it's kind of fun.
And now it's time for Steve. What you got there, Steve?
Well, not really metal this time, but man, I've been playing the heck out of this. This is Killing Joke, their debut record.
Oh, that's a great album.
Man, this
killer record.
They call it post-punk, but it's really not. I mean, it's kind of what would turn into industrial later on. I mean, it's definitely got the drums of the post-punk, but this album was so far ahead of its time. Just fantastic. Unfortunately, their next couple albums weren't as good. Then towards the end of the 80s, they got real good again. But if you haven't checked this one out, this is a 10-star record right there.
Yeah, that's a great album. I highly recommend that one as well. I'm going to show 2 from the same band because I just recently got these on vinyl. Finally, they were released in Europe, but they were really hard to get here. They wouldn't even ship them to the United States from the company that was selling them. But thankfully, a local company got in some of these. So Vini Domini, Fall Babylon Fall. Freaking fantastic cover art. Love this band. It's kind of progressive doom with Jeff Tate-ish style vocals, and I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here. Carcass, what's the band from Texas that's a progressive doom band?
Solitude Eternus.
There you go. They're kind of in the vein of Solitude Alternus, but a little more pushing towards like if Queensryche, early Queensryche played doom. That's kind of how I would describe it. But yeah, these guys are great, and the artwork is by Rodney Matthews, and I love Rodney Matthews' artwork. So
I have their CDs.
We'll have to add that to the list.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the vinyl and CD edition that just got reissued from in Europe also has, I guess they recorded some tracks that didn't make it to the album. So there's the D side on this actually has 3 tracks that weren't on the original album. So that's kind of cool. And it is a gatefold. And then the second album, Material Sanctuary, which I think is a bona fide classic. I mean, I rate this thing 10 out of 10. Absolutely love this album. And again, it's another great cover by the same artist. Obviously, he's got that style. You can see the little minions or whatever those things are there. Those show up on a lot of Rodney Matthews artwork. But yeah, Vinai Domini, I believe they're from Sweden, right? If I'm not mistaken. I'm almost positive they're a Swiss band, but
they've been around
for
a while.
Yeah, they've been around since they're not around anymore. They're actually, funny thing is they actually are around. They have a new name. They have a new album coming out, but they have a different singer. So that's the difference. But yeah, I love these 2 albums. Actually, I love all the V&I Diamond. I have the whole catalog, but those first 2 are just among my favorites. So if anybody is looking for them, Boone's Overstock has the white and black vinyl versions available. They're not cheap. I'm going to tell you right now, but they weren't cheap in Europe either. They were rather pricey, but they're like, I don't know, they're like $35-$40 each or somewhere around that area.
Yeah, well, the problem is even if they were cheap in Europe, it's $35 to get it over here, and good luck. So, like you said, some countries won't even ship to the States now.
Well, DHL won't even ship anything to the U.S. anymore either. So a lot of air carriers are canceling.
Next thing you know, we'll have to go to Canada to buy records. Oh, wait, we have a connection there.
Yeah.
I'll meet you at the border. We're going to do a vinyl deal.
Yeah, we have Justin Bieber.
I think I would scratch that one off your resume, Greg.
Yeah. Where's the gong sound effect when you need it?
That's right.
Oh. Where is it? There it is. This is a fun one.
Like a 2-year-old that got a new toy.
Boy,
all right, you're up again there.
Okay. And this is the legendary King Scott Waters presents Resurrection Band.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great album.
This thing, man, I bought this back just about when it came out. This is an 83 live album out of Chicago. They're the grandfathers of Christian rock, and this thing's just heavy, like hard rock, classic hard rock. There's one classic blues song, but the sound quality on this shocked me last night because I've always heard it in my car. I've always heard it here and there, but last night I just cranked it. And man, I don't know what it was. Did Rod Caldwell do the sound on this? I can't remember. Did you guys tinker with the sound?
Which version is that one?
It's the one with the fancy.
Yes, that's Gerder Music. Yep. Yeah.
Gerder Music.
I did the layout for that one, and
there's this card.
The card, and yeah.
But
and Rob did the mastering. Yeah.
It just chunkied up it's probably the most dramatic remaster I've ever heard on an album that I've ever had. I went, holy cow, just gives it that extra few decibels. They might have boosted the guitars on both sides, but it's just really, really good blues hard rock, like your Foghat, Molly Hatchet, that style. It's not heavy metal, but it's still rocking. So yeah, I totally recommend this. And then King Scott Waters again, I guess, with the layout. It's kind of neat how here's the CD. Like it's instead of just a boring, track 1, 2 and all that. It's good thought put into it. So yeah. Anyway, that was great to hear. So that's mine for that one there.
Carcass.
If you think that's a wild try the Gamma side, Greg. Man, that thing it's a mind blower. I thought I loved the sound of the Gamma side because I had it when I bought it when it was brand new. But then to hear the remastered version is, Metal Rob has something.
He's got, matter of fact, I was talking to Rob on the phone today, and we were actually just talking about this very thing. And I was telling him the most dramatic one I ever heard is he did Eternal Reich, which was a LA glam band from the 80s, and that original album sounded horrible. I mean, it was just really poorly recorded. I don't know how he did it, but man, that thing is like a total 180. It's just amazing how much better that thing is.
I've seen his little studio setup, and I'm sort of an audiophile myself, but you've got to know how to use the tools. You can buy a pair of Air Jordans. That doesn't mean you can dunk like
You're gonna
Michael.
be Air-
But,
yeah.
but anyway,
Exactly.
okay. So I've been sort of on a kind of a dark new wave ambient whatever thing, and for some reason, I saw a copy of this, The Fix Phantoms. I don't know why I overlooked it, but this thing is unbelievable. Phantom Living, Sunshine in the Shade, Less Cities and Moving People, and then that led me down this road.
B-52.
B-52s, and this is the audio file copy. And man, you think there's a moon in the sky and it's called The Moon, you're really going to know about it because it's so clear.
He's one of the most underrated guitar players of the 80s. Those two first records that I can't remember what his name was, Cindy's brother.
Jonathan Mooncraft checking in from the UK.
Oh yeah, but this thing, man, I'm telling you, it's funny, it's sonically amazing, and if you want to test your system, I used to test my system to Planet Claire when I was setting up for a gig, a DJ gig. I would play that because it has everything. It has drums, it has keyboards, it has guitar, it has a bottom end that can't be beat. But so that led me down to more. Boy Harsher from LA, Brother Sister Team, synth pop stuff. And then, yes, I hate to even admit it, but Billie Eilish is one of my little indulgences. But this thing is masterful, man. That this chick's got something. But I know it's not Ronnie James Dio, but sometimes you just got to cleanse your palate. And so I did.
We talked about it. She was like 12 or 13 when she wrote that first record.
Yeah. And sonically, it's killer. And, you can say what you want about, oh, I like analog better than digital. But come on, man. Some of those things really, I love analog too. But I like it when it's recorded correctly digitally. I think you can brick wall all that stuff. And I'm a huge fan of EQs. I have an equalizer on every system I have in the house. And I listen to it both ways. Flat across the board, straight through the amp, and then I juice it up a little bit here and there. And and those records, I don't really have to do anything to, because
you got a second sale on Van Halen TED Sessions there, Carcass.
Right on. Sweet. I'm telling you, it won't be disappointed.
Buy the damn Hellbender.
And buy the Hellbender while you're at it.
Yeah. I need to sell that one.
Okay,
All right, where we at? Kev, you're up.
Linger on Billie Eilish. That's bad.
Here's a band that's one and done band. They formed in, I think, 79 actually. Band out of Belgium called Buzzard.
Oh yeah, I saw you post that. I was going to ask you about it.
This is Gambler. They only put one album. It's described as speed metal. There's probably elements in there, but I consider more old school heavy metal, at times maybe a little Saxon-ish at times, but there, like I say, there are elements in there. And one and done, this kind of lineup went through a few changes from 79 to when this came out in 84. And only album they put out, they have an EP, which is very rare to get. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a, you know how some labels will find these gems. This is definitely a gem. Pick it up. It was, I think you can get this over at either Rockadrome or Shadow Kingdom, I think. But definitely worth a listen.
Right on. Watch out, Steve.
Not another classic. Wanted to give this one a couple before I put it back up in the collection, but these guys just don't get enough love for how good they are. From 1991, Luck of the Corpse from Deceased. Man,
Yes.
a great record and super underrated. When people talk about, Death and Obituary and all these bands from the late 80s, early 90s, these guys should be brought up with them. They were just as good as any of those other bands. Man, fantastic. They got an Atlanta connection. I think they're North Carolina. Where are they from? I can't remember where they're from.
I thought they were from Ohio.
Deceased, I think they're from Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. That's
right. Yep.
And
Virginia's
their bass player, he lives here in Atlanta. But last time I saw him, I got King to sign it there.
I think he moved.
Yeah, he was. Oh, he's got a connection with one of the Earl is the club he always played at here in town. He's got some connection with it. I don't know if it's through the bass player or what the deal is, but there's some connection there. But man, such a great record. He was shocked to see this too. He said he hadn't. All he ever sees is the reissues. He hadn't seen an original pressing in probably 10 years. But very cool. The represses sound good too. But all the Deceased stuff is fantastic. Their most recent album was another great record too.
Right on. This is one I just picked up. Actually, I got this in a trade from a guy who's watching the show currently. This is from Ron. Just one that I was missing in my collection from Snow White, All Hail to Thee. So classic, I don't know, speed metal. What would you guys call this? Some people call them thrash metal, but I don't really hear it. But
no, do they have some connection to Cyclone Temple?
Yes, I believe they do.
That were signed by Combat, and then the only band kept by Combat after they got rid of Devastation, Exodus, and some of the other heavy hitters.
Something like that, yeah. But the female vocalist in Snow White. So, yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick while you guys are talking, because I'm pretty sure you're right about that.
Ripper,
I should have looked
that album's a ripper. There's no doubt about it.
Go ahead and Greg, and show yours, and I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna get up my heavy hitter now, I guess, because I'm looking at the time, and we might have time for one more each, or maybe two. But anyway, I've got to pull out the heavy hitter. I don't want to miss out. Touchdown!
Oh my!
Yeah,
gosh, that's
how
killer.
is that? That's all the shows that are the two full shows, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic release. It's on
Should I bother-
it's on my want list. It'll probably stay on there forever. But go ahead, show it.
Should
Let's
I
see it.
bother do a little quick opening, or just talk
go
about
ahead.
No,
Okay.
okay, let's see it.
it? Okay, well, I'm getting dizzy now.
I'm trying to
You-
get you bigger so I can.
Yeah, you
so we can
think you're
actually
running
see
the
it.
show, huh? Oh yeah, you are running the show.
There we go.
Okay. Nice heart box. It's that live in Japan. Just a quick. This
While
is
you're-
the 3 CD set that came out. I don't know, what was it, 2004 or something?
You're
With
right.
all 3 shows and a couple encores, like Osaka and booklet. So you get the pictures. Like this picture is the same as pretty much that, but anyway, I guess in the interest of time. But I had to have this too, because I kept reading about the sound quality, this and that. And I missed out on Black Sabbath Sabotage Volume 4, those box sets, Paranoid. And now they're selling for more than I'll ever pay. And it just made me mad. So I thought, okay, this has to be done. Because this is probably my Desert Island album. But this was on the outside of the box, but it's just a, well,
Yeah, it's got all the
whatever.
tracks.
But it comes with a poster, which I think I'll get framed actually, but it's Deep Purple made in Japan. And then it comes with a tour program from what came out at the original Japanese, well, a copy, of course, but just a tour book. They spelt John Lord wrong. They spelt Richie Blackmore wrong, but whatever. I mean, this is all in Japanese, so
They were spelling phonetically, probably, and I've seen that error before.
yeah, I can't spell any Japanese person's name. So, but anyway, and after that, I don't want to take too long here. Booklet action. It's kind of neat having just a clean look at that. But then it's a whole bunch of people talking about the album. I think Biff Byford's one of them. I haven't read the booklet yet, but a bunch of quotes, like people talking about it, what it meant when they were young, and so on and so forth, and pictures you've probably never seen, and then this is the big. Oh, the one complaint I have is that these things fall out easy. Like it's the worst. Like every time you pull them out, they kind of all slide up. That's a pick. But this Steve, what's his name? Steve Wilson remix. He's supposed to be famous in.
Oh, Stephen
proud-
Wilson of Porcupine Tree.
Yeah,
Okay,
you get
yeah.
all the Jethro Tull remixes, and they're fucking fantastic.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting because in my car, I cranked it, and Highway Star. Remember on the original Highway Star when it came out in the 70s, I had it. We'd go to my friend's stereo, the big cabinet stereo, But when the bass would kick in at the start of Highway Star, or no, on Smoke in the Water, I wanted both of, it would kind of distort the speakers a bit. But this is heavy bass. They've juiced up the bass, so I have to turn the bass down on my equalizer quite a bit because I want to hear the lead guitar the most. But people are saying Blackmore's levels got more even, but I don't know, because when I hear the solo, the Highway Star, it still sounds bright. Like I want Blackmore when it's his solo time, and you do hear it. Like when you go to a concert, the guy clicks that little button on the solo and you can hear it like 25% louder and then clicks it. So I think there's no issue there. And then the other ones, I tried to start listening to them. See, they're all falling out. There's the One Date, you know, and the next day, different guy. Then they have the encores. So there's Speed King and Black Knight a couple of different times. And this one's a DVD, and I couldn't play it in my car, so couldn't try it in here because I thought, okay, I'm going to try my home stereo and play the Steven Wilson mix and really shut my eyes. Wouldn't play, got stuck in the player overnight. I couldn't get it out, and I thought, well, the most expensive album I've ever bought in my life, and now it's stuck in the machine, so I was pretty mad, but that's how things go. And then I finally got it out today, so I'm too scared to use that thing. But yeah, I was able to trade some stuff at the record store to help the cost. I know the vinyl is pretty steep, but
just go to a charity shop and get a cheap CD player or a DVD player.
Yeah, no, so I think it's worth it. That's just having an album I just totally love, and it just really does sound crystal clear. And you do hear little bits of in between banter that's different, and the bass part on what song is it? I think it's Highway Star. Yeah, the start of Highway Star, but the bass is, I'd never noticed it before at the start of Highway Star, but it's a really cool. Glover plays a lot. He doesn't just go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's a real fun bass player to listen to, actually. But anyway, I'll go on forever about it. So that's Made in Japan.
So there's the answer to our question about Snow White. Cycle and Temple was basically Snow White with a different singer.
Right on.
Yeah, this wasn't this. I mean, Debbie Gunnett was singing for this band at one time, but not on this album. But when she left, they formed the other band with a different singer. So anyhow,
Gotcha.
Answer to that question. But yeah, that box set's fantastic, man.
You could go on forever. I don't care. I love that record. I mean,
Same here.
Deeper. That's an Islander for me too. So
one last thing I want to mention about it. It has a couple of different edits. Like I don't have it in front of me, but one of them is I don't know if they said radio edit, but it's a different. Like they shortened Speed King, which is Spice Truckin'. It's not 21 minutes. It's edit it down. So I don't know how they'll make it just like a normal Space Truckin' song, because that other part's more theatrical, where Blackmore is rubbing the guitar against the speaker and smashing it, and so that it might be a tighter version. It'd be interesting to hear.
Deep Purple just came out with a 3-album set of one of their albums from 20. I can't remember which one it was. 20 years ago. That wasn't never on vinyl, and they just released it.
Was it Bananas?
No, it wasn't Bananas.
No, it wasn't Bananas yet, but it was one of those. Yeah, I remember seeing that too.
Right.
I can't think of it
It's
either.
never been on vinyl, so that just came out here a couple weeks back.
And Made in Europe should get this deluxe, all those shows, because Made in Europe came from a couple of different shows, so they should have that as a deluxe Made in Europe version.
That was with Coverdale, though, right?
Yeah, Coverdale Hughes, and that's just pretty close to the level of Mark II and Mark III live. It's pretty close to me, anyway.
That's hard to do, man. You see bands, go through a change that drastic, and there's usually a fall off. But man, no, those were. I mean, I like the Gillan, I like the Mark II better, but
Here we got our answer. Rapture of the Deep. Yep, that's correct. That is
What's
the album that
crazy
it was.
too was it Return to Japan, the one with Mark Bolan on guitar, and he was like definitely, and they still sounded great. He was like super sick for that show, and wasn't playing to his full ability, and it's still a great sounding show.
Yeah, he was probably so amped up on heroin, though.
No, he had the flu really bad. So I don't remember exactly what it was. He was super sick though, and they had sold the place out, so he still.
I know the last concert in Japan, which is kind of, at the time was probably a special, but anyway, that one there, it's probably one of the poorest live albums that they did, because he was so out of it at the time then.
And this is probably their greatest moment. Live at the California Jam. I think it's, if I could have one CD, DVD, cassette, this is it for, or someone from a spaceship comes down, like the ending with Blackmore throwing the speakers onto the, like, it's just unbelievable space truck conversion and everything else. It might be his best moments as soloing too. I don't know. So
And
that's Mark III.
I don't know if you were old enough, but that was on TV.
I watched it live on TV. That's what turned me on to rock.
ABC's rock concert on Friday night, and
yep, I watched it.
That was crazy. But
I didn't care about music until I saw that, and I went, "Holy, this is unbelievable!" All of a sudden, that's just Deep Purple blew me away, and then I got to see them shortly after that on the Stormbringer tour. And
Don Kirshner had some good ones.
Yeah, Don Kirshner. Yeah.
Well, we were running out of time, so everybody.
Sorry.
We'll keep. No, it's not your fault. Keep going. But
okay,
John, just be quick. That's all.
like Greg says, I've got a heavy hitter. Once again, this is a born late find, and I'm usually skeptical about these.
Oh.
I'm usually skeptical about these because this is a special pressing, and I'm sure Gene Simmons is if he were not alive, he would be spinning in his grave right now. But comes with this huge thick book, and it's got stickers, it's got a tour thing, and the set list is really, really killer. This is Indianapolis 1986, except no imitations. I think that's funny. But anyway,
Kiss recorded everything for most of their career on the soundboard, so there's very few bad live pressings from.
Well, it sounds impressive. I mean, it really is good. This has got Kulick and Carr on it. In fact, to your point, Steve, I went the last time I saw Kiss. You could buy the show you were watching. You had to just pay for it up front and then hang around afterwards.
And they would give you a copy of it. Yeah,
they would give you a copy, and I still have it, and it sounds cute. It sounds great.
That's a cool poster.
Look at that.
Yeah.
German poster.
It's on the white.
Drive to Canada.
I know, that's pretty nice.
I love the modified logo too.
Yeah, I see the Kiss poster up there too.
But anyway, I think he still has a couple, 2 or 3 of these. They're a little pricey, but once again, I'm working it off. but yeah, if you can find one of these, grab it like a rabbit, because this is an era of Kiss that I didn't really care for, because I like the first, everything up into past Love Gun and Rock and Roll Over and that type of thing. And then when they went through all the changes, I just sort of lost interest. But that's my heavy hitter. It's no Deep Purple, made in Japan, but it's pretty good.
Well, Kiss Alive is pretty close to made in Japan, if not better.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But that Deep Purple record, it's made in Japan, it's the first live album I ever bought as a kid.
Oh, wow.
And it was in the first 20 records that I purchased. I purchased Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and a couple Aerosmith records. Those were my purchases as a 13-year-old young man with a job. Anyway.
Awesome.
Right on. What you got, Kev?
I too was going to show some Van Halen here. This is Zero demos.
That's a great.
That's the one that set me in motion. That's the Gene Simmons demos.
Yep, that Gene Simmons produced. Yep.
Right,
wow,
and you can actually hear him playing on it, and you can hear his background vocals on some of the songs. But
wow,
This is a really good recording of the demo.
It sounds phenomenal. There's actually 5 or 6 more tracks from that session, and I have it on CD.
I have another one of the demos they have too somewhere in here, but it's a different cover. It's kind of a red and white cover. I can't remember the name of the front.
I know the one you're talking about, but that particular era, I'm just glad that they didn't listen to Gene, because he wanted them to change their name to the Daddy Long Legs, which I think is just a terrible, terrible name. Gene is he's been very, very successful, but he's not always right, if you know what I mean. But anyhow,
Stevie,
right on.
So my last couple, just one of the great death metals of the last decade, Twisted Prayers. I loved when this came out and everybody was saying they sound like Death, which is exactly what they were going for. They wanted to bring back that old school death metal. Yeah, I haven't listened to the new one yet, but man, I love the artwork. Was this who did?
That's Ed Repka.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, awesome artwork. Such a great album. That made me want to listen to this. Oddly enough, Frozen in Time. I think this was 05 or 06.
Yeah.
From Obituary, and every time I listen to this era of Obituary, it makes me pull out this era of Obituary. So I was just listening to Slowly Rewrought earlier today.
The album with no lyrics.
Oh man, so good. My favorite from them will always be Cause of Death, because that was the album where I got into them. But man, Slowly Rewrought's fantastic too.
Right on. I'm gonna just go through some CDs real quick. Got to give a shout out to my brother Vic Stone and the new Vindicator.
I ordered that last weekend.
It's good. I've been playing this thing quite a bit. It's really good. Vindicator are one of the most underrated new wave of thrash metal bands in my opinion. So I've been spinning this one quite a bit too. This is a Metal Blade release from 1999. I don't know, maybe it was the 90s. But Quiet Room, they are a mixture of Queensryche and Fates Warning in sound. That's how I would describe it.
But they're a little heavier. They
are a little heavier. Yes. So when I say Queensryche, it's early Queensryche, like EP era Queensryche stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an underrated band too. They had 3 albums?
2 that I'm aware of, and then a demo and a couple demos.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. But I have those sitting on the shelf over there. I might break those out. Those are really good.
I can tell you this: Rob just remastered this thing for CD and vinyl. And I don't know if I should say this or not, but it's on sale, but it's not selling well. So there's a good chance that the label will cancel it if it doesn't start picking up sales, which is unfortunate because this is a freaking fantastic album. And I really want it.
That's a really good one.
And I actually got to hear Rob's remaster, and it's amazing. He just does such great work. So I'm really hoping that some people are, and that's one of the reasons I'm showing this. Not my label. I don't make anything from this, but Boone's Overstock is got the vinyl and CD on sale now. If anybody's interested, it just needs a few more orders for them not to do that. And then this is another one which Greg and I were talking about before the show. But Triton. I love Triton. They've got 3 full-length albums out. They got a 4th in the works. This is their best of album. Again, Rob Caldwell special on the mastering. It's got, I think, 12 or 13 tracks. But the coolest part about this reissue is the freaking booklet is amazing. It's like, if you ever want, the type is small, but it's got the entire history of the band written by Larry Dean in there. And then it's got song by song write-ups of every single song on the album and why he chose that song and what happened when they wrote that song and how they recorded it, just all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And they just played this past weekend at a festival in Ohio. What's it called? Immortal Festival. And they did this wicked Rush medley of songs in the middle of their set, and it was freaking fantastic. Nobody can match Geddy Lee's vocals quite like there you go, Immortal Festival. Nobody can match Geddy Lee's vocals quite like Larry Dean from Triton. A little heavier, little more 80s heavy than Triton. I mean, than Rush was in the 80s, but definitely a good comparison to them. So, and then I just got this in the mail. Last one, I got the new remastered John Ark Twisted Fate, which if you like the first 3 Fates Warnings album, that's exactly the style this one is.
That's a good
and
one.
it's got a bonus track on there that wasn't on the original release, so that's kind of nice. It's only got, the original only has 2 songs, but it's half an hour long, so it's very long tracks. So there's 2 tracks. It's also available on vinyl, which I don't have the vinyl, but I do have the test pressing of the vinyl though. And and it's, again, Rob Caldwell, the dude is just amazing. It just sounds so freaking good. So that's also on sale at Boone's Overstock. And that's not why I showed it. I actually have been listening to it over and over and over again. So, all right, that's it. Anybody else got anything they want to do or say before we go? We got lots of comments that I wasn't keeping up with. So let me see what anybody else is saying. But
no, Fraser's saying something about Hell's Heroes is going to announce tomorrow. All I know is Tankard is playing, and there's a whole lot of fluff. But
there you go. Someone saw you can see that the Triton medley of the Rush. It's on YouTube. You can watch that.
What Rush songs did they do? What Rush?
I don't
All of
remember.
them
I
in
have to
3
look.
minutes.
What's that?
Yeah.
Somebody
You're
asked
looking at
about
it-
what label you're repping, Scott. So you may just make a mention of No Life Till Metal, Rocks Records, and
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't. Oh, is it this one here? Yeah, I see it.
yeah,
I'm not
Bones
repping any
Rock.
one particular label here. I work for a bunch of different labels doing layouts and stuff. But the one that I was showing earlier, the Hellbender, this is actually my label. It's called No Life Till Metal Records. But I also work for Rocks Records and Retroactive Records and Brutal Planet Records and
Girder.
Girder Records,
And
Backbreaker,
is it Bomb?
Bombworks, and
Bomb-
Sound Mass. And then I've also done work for Capital and Metal Blade and Century Media through those same labels. So, but yeah, so I'm not really repping any one particular label. But a lot of the stuff I'm listening to is stuff I'm working on, so that's why I end up showing it. But yeah, I'm really hoping that this doesn't get canceled. So, order the freaking thing.
Yeah,
It's so good.
And I don't usually highly recommend something, but that thing's really good.
They haven't
It
started
is.
pressing it yet.
No, it's on hold at the pressing plant until next week. He's going to give it another week to see if sales pick up or not. He was hoping it's just because everybody was out of town for the holiday weekend, but it's weird because usually he puts something on sale and he's going to sell 30, 40, 50 copies in advance right away, but for whatever reason that one hasn't quite picked up, which is, like I said, a big huge bummer. So because I love that album.
Metal Blade, though, man, they were putting out so much stuff. It probably just got overlooked even at the time,
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yep.
Mega Jeff, for ordering the Quiet Room vinyl. Appreciate that.
Sweet.
I want it, but can't afford it. I get that too. I know. I totally understand that. But that's you can always sell a child or a kidney or a lung.
Give plasma.
Oh, your kids for metal.
Right on. So anyhow, that's it. So first of all, you can find all of us. I think all of us are on social media somewhere, but you can find Blackmore Rules under Blackmore Rules on
Yeah.
YouTube.
That's right. That's for you,
DC
Carcass.
Thank you.
DC line.
Yeah,
We can still be friends.
Yeah.
You can I'm going to pull the banners up, so that'll help me a little bit. You can find Carcass where?
Carcass John Art and 128 DB Rock. And tonight's Carcass John's alter ego, I'm doing a special tribute to Ozzy. So shout out to Brandon Baddock, who had me on his Disturbing the Priest podcast, where we talked about our 5 top Ozzy vocal performances, not in any particular order, but check it out tonight on 128 DB Rock.
Right on. And you can find Kevin at
Old Metal Rocker 66 on YouTube, and also you can check out Metal Uprising over on Facebook.
right on. And Steve, you can find Steve on YouTube at
Harmless Rebel 866, or just type in Harmless Rebel, and it's harmless_rebel on Instagram.
And you can find me on Instagram at No Life Till Metal. You can find me on YouTube at No Life Till Metal, or just look up Scott Waters. And I'm also under Scott Waters on Facebook and all those other fun places, Instagram. And I don't have an X account. Any of you guys have an X account?
Nope.
No,
Nope, me either.
We're
I
all
watched
old
it.
folks. Old folks don't have.
was never
I
on
know, but-
Twitter.
Tweeter. I watched a podcast the other day, and they were talking about the amount of people on the different ones. And Meta still has the most people over top of X and all the other ones. I was kind of surprised to see that.
Well, it used to be one and the same. When I was still working, we did projects for, we can't call it Facebook. We called it the North Texas Networking Center, though. And all that stuff it's the magnitude of what they're doing is immense. And to think that if they lose power, they lose $9 million a minute.
Wow.
Well, they're always
insane.
still
I don't
partnering
know how that
with it.
works. I don't know how all that stuff works. I mean, I'm not monetized or anything, but that was in our what do they call it? The pre-con meeting. And they said, now don't hit the power line, because it takes 7 minutes for it to boot back up, and we lose $9 million a minute. And I'm like,
Jeez.
oh. And I have a buddy that fixes fiber optic up to 4-inch fiber optic lines, and it's the 4-inch fiber optic line is $30,000 a foot to fix. So
Wow.
yes, you don't want to hit that. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of signal carrying through there, and here we are blathering on. But anyway, Facebook's still huge, no matter what anybody says.
Is. Right on. So we know how we always end it. So for episode number 281, what's spinning? Metal. Will prevail.
And so will Deep Purple, made in Japan forever.
Yay, that's right.